Greetings, everyone. GleeCon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. We have got a little bitty short one today. Okay, so to update everyone, when I look back at Chronicles, there is some things that are happening right now in this book, The Last Guardian, that are touched upon in the next few parts of Chronicles, these next few little sections. So to get up to about where we are right now, and to cover some other events that aren't necessarily, they're not going to spoil anything or conflict with anything in orcs and humans. We've got four parts, so 4 episodes to do in a row, this one and then 3 more that will bust out. And then that will be as far as we can go in the Chronicles book without playing at least a few 2 to 3 levels of each orc and human campaign in Orcs and Humans. Now, as far as The Last Guardian goes, that one's going to be a little bit more play it by ear. We will read at least one more chapter because there is nothing. I'm going to push as far as I can in that book to the point where it's not going past where there will be spoilers. There comes a clear, like the first war is in clear stages. In this beginning, we have the Black Morass, aka Swamp of Sorrows section, and it's really kind of nebulous about how far that goes. But there's a clear distinction between that phase of the war and when they start to begin to press into the lands like the Elwyn Forest and stuff like that. When that happens, there's not a lot, that's, you could kind of argue that that's year 2. That's when maybe a little bit towards the end of year 1. But either way, that's a clear separate phase in the game. And there are other events that occur. That's when the war really starts to gear up. So stay a tiny little while and listen, probably less time on this than what I just spent talking. This is called First Contact. As more and more orcs streamed into Azeroth, reports reached Stormwind of mysterious creatures lurking around the Black Morass. Rumors spread to the streets. Were they vengeful spirits, trolls armed with some new breed of power? Had some strange race from across the Great Sea launched a war upon humans? Nothing seemed to make sense. King Lane dispatched Commander Lothar to uncover the truth. He led a small force of knights and scouted out the Black Morass. It was not long before Lothar ran across the Horde. For the first time, orcs clashed with Stormwind's knights, engaging in a series of bloody skirmishes. Lothar's soldiers scored a number of small victories over their foes, yet for every orc they killed, 2 more seemed to take their place. The humans found themselves more outnumbered in each subsequent battle, and Lothar was eventually forced to pull back. It shouldn't have been possible. How could the enemy replenish its troops so fast? Lothar and his forces had not yet ventured deep enough into the Black Morass to find the Dark Portal. The region was heavily guarded by their foes. Lothar sent word back to King Lane that the invaders were bringing in reinforcements from somewhere. The kingdom needed to ready itself for a full-scale war. Meanwhile, the orcs reported to War Chief Blackhand, telling him that the region's humans were not aware of their presence. The time for preparation and scouting had ended. The first war was about to begin in earnest. So that meshes with what we just read in the book. The Last Guardian book. Perhaps this, you could argue that this is a pinch before it. And that certainly, with that right there, you could make the argument that we could play the first 2 to 3 levels of both human and orc campaign right now. But there's a few more that we can push it a little farther without advancing the game. So I really want us to be able to play a little chunk of that first game. So we're going to push these other books. So like I said, 3 more sections on this, and at least 1, maybe a few more, but very soon. If I had to guess, I'd say less than 10 total episodes for sure before we'll start our first game in this series. I think right now, this little one right here, I think this was episode 250. I'm right on that. It's only going to take us a little bit more than 250 episodes to actually get to some game time in a series that is all about the lore of a game. All right. Thank you so much for listening. This episode is in the pipes 5x5, and I'll see you on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.